Hello. Good evening. I trust you're all well. Roots are showing, aren't they? Oh dear. Do say hello if you're on the chat, by the way. Don't if you're not, that'll be a waste of time. Have I done? Come. Resize. Open. Disappear. Am I ready? I am ready. Hello. Good evening, Stephanie. Pleasure. Good evening, Frankie. I'm not diddling. I'm doing a quiz. Good evening, James, Jim, and good evening, Amy. How are we all? I trust we are well. I've been typically ready for ages. Obviously, just waiting. No, not true. Today's it's the sort of shit I own now. Today's question indicator is this tube of Schwarzkopf Color Expert Color Sealer Treatment Rinse Off. Everyone talk about pop music. Yeah, we'll get started in about 5 minutes. Your answer sheet should be open. Yeah. I hope it's obvious what you need to do. You have to say who the next person is on question 12. So there's 3 separate images. Good evening, Mickey, which I've completely failed to differentiate by just put them in one big line. It isn't very helpful, is it? Sometime is this the right? Right. Let's have a look. Lovely stuff. Right, I'll just give you a couple of minutes, but that's through my generosity, not in any way languor. Have I done the question? Yes, I have written some questions. This is all going well. Are the questions visible to me? Yes, they are. Tell you what. Let's see, are these answers flooding in? They are. The youngsters may be pleased to hear that I have attempted to keep the gammon content to a minimum. I think there's only 2 really gammony things, so I apologise for that. I don't apologise for it. You don't understand how difficult it is for me to fight my natural quiz tendencies. Just ask like 80 questions about Super Punch Out and Juvenile. That's basically reading my Tinder profile aloud. I don't have one, obviously. Awful thing to do. Okay, we're going to start controversially mid-cigarette. Okay, is everyone ready? Tell me if you're not ready. I'm going to say everyone's ready then. Let's start. Question 16, ladies and gentlemen. Question 16 is on television, and great days for television, ladies and gentlemen. Great days for television. Based on the South Korean TV show of the same name, good start always, isn't it? What is the name? The BBC's new tip-top slice of entertainment pie, in which contestants have to guess which of a panel is a bad singer without seeing them sing, or with the help of Jimmy Carr, ladies and gentlemen, or to give him his full name, of course, Jimmy fucking Carr, alongside a panel of inevitable celebrities. The point is they have to guess which ones are bad singers without actually being able to see who is doing the singing. That's basically the game. So allowed to see them, and they're allowed to hear the singing, but they're not allowed to see who's doing the singing. And basically go, but you didn't think somebody who looked like that could sing. I didn't make that association myself. This hasn't worked as a concept. Fuck you, Jimmy Carr. That's what the programme should be called, but it isn't. It has a proper name. What is it? There's going to be a brief period of adjustment during which the terrible cramp incident will not recur. Excuse me. That's better. And here comes the colour expert. It's question 17. It's on sport, ladies and gentlemen. Very straightforward question. The blood in the water, ladies and gentlemen, the blood in the water game is an infamous game between the Soviet Union and annexed near neighbours Hungary. In which sport? The blood in the water clash between the Soviet Union and Hungary, leading teams both, took place in which sport? Question 18, ladies and gentlemen, is on vaccine skeptics, ladies and gentlemen. Which phenomenal intellect, which amazing thinker, honey-voiced angel and vaccine skeptic has added his considerable cerebral might into the vaccine debate by recording the anti-lockdown song Little Seed Big Tree and having appearances at festivals cancelled because of his views and his refusal to perform in front of people wearing masks. One wag, in reference to a hit single of his, quipped, "For everyone a refund." Who is that singer? An anti-vaccine man and idiot, former criminal, in fact just criminal, for verbal intimidation of an air hostess. He's a good guy, he really is. You know, when you don't know an aeroplane, you're fine, but you can't help threatening to maim an air hostess. Happens, doesn't it? You know, get ill-tempered. Who is that man? And why? God, wonder why. Chop your fucking hands off. That's what he said. Question 19, ladies and gentlemen, the Springsteen joke, now almost so old it's becoming fashionable again, is on the cakes of Wikipedia, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I meant to replace the name of a cake with the word blank. More of a dessert than the cake in this instance. As this will make clear. Blank. Hard so far, isn't it? Is an Italian dessert layering custard and sponge cake, perhaps derived, maybe it is, derived from trifle. To make blank, either sponge cake or lady fingers are dipped in alshem, a bright red, alchemis, I guess, a bright red, extremely aromatic Italian herb liqueur. They are then alternated with layers of crema pasticcera, a thick egg custard cooked with a large piece of lemon zest removed afterwards. Often a layer of crema alla cioccolata is created by dissolving dark chocolate in a plain crema pasticcera. In Italy, it is occasionally topped with cream, meringue, or almonds. Blanc is also a popular gelato flavour. The origins of blanc are uncertain. One theory states that it originated in the 16th century kitchens of the Dukes of Este, the rulers of Ferrara. According to this story, they asked their cooks to recreate the sumptuous English trifle they had enjoyed in England at the Elizabethan court, to which they were frequent visitors. However, no recipes for the dish were recorded before the late 19th century, when it appears in cookbooks from Emilia-Romagna and central Italy. What is that pudding, ladies and gentlemen? Question 20, ladies and gentlemen. Question 20 is on films and currently scuttling around whatever does for a box office chart these days. Oh, which duo, ladies and gentlemen, appeared in an animated film? They first appeared in animations in 1940. This is a reimagining both of their story and the plot. I haven't seen it, but it's going to be awful, isn't it? What is that film, ladies and gentlemen? Currently fifth in the box office, released in February, ladies and gentlemen, featuring a much-loved animated pair. First appeared in films in 1940. Who's in it? Dakota Fanning, is she in it? Well, I'm sure not in it, this animated, but, her voice. What's that film? If anyone's seen it and it's great, please tell me that I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong, am I? Question 21, ladies and gentlemen, is on sausages. And, whilst many of us have spent much of this year and much of last year as well, housebound and, dealt okay with it, probably some ups and downs and whatnot, but we've done okay. And Lucky for us, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't have the extreme stress of being either a cabinet minister or the prime minister's dad. Because then, if you get locked down, you start to experience wanderlust so severe that it's impossible actually to remain not only in your house but also the country, ladies and gentlemen. I, however, shall bide my time as I have booked, ladies and gentlemen, a trip to Thuringia, the green heart of Germany, the very centre of Germany, very green. A beautiful place where I shall of course, visit the Bundesbratwurst Museum, the National Sausage Museum. I've just given it that title myself. There's a sausage museum there, of course, ladies and gentlemen. Thuringia, of course, is home to the town, in which Germany signed its first democratic constitution in 1918, which gave its name to the regime that was powerful in Germany for a while until it was overthrown by the Nazis in 1930. What town is this, ladies and gentlemen, that gives its name to the regime overthrown by the Nazis in the 1930s? It is relatively near the National Sausage Museum of Germany. Actually, I don't need to apologise to the young people, do I? Because they're associates with more senior men. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Fuck you, young people. Question 22. What I'm going to do now is give you a list of 10 seemingly unconnected things, which, upon closer inspection, are in fact conjoined by a single unifying subject. All you need to do is tell me what that subject is. I must warn you, this gets seriously shit at the end. I mean, normally I don't tell you that, and it does anyway. But this really does get, yeah. So what links? Steve Coogan. Anne Frank. Twice, in a way. Basil Hallward. Basil Hallward. As in towards the hall. A term used online in mock sympathy towards somebody having a bit of a moment. Alison Moyet. A very well-known American SUV, first launched in 1974. Susan Janet Ballion. The state of Wyoming. Nowadays very bad. The Cure on a building site. And the hobby of quilting. I'll give you those again. Steve Coogan. Anne Frank. Basil Hallward. A term used in mock sympathy online towards somebody having a bit of a moment, or wobbly, or no. Alison Moyet, pre-fame. As in her fame, she wasn't in fame, I should have done. An American SUV, first launched in 1974. Susan Janet Ballion. The state of Wyoming. The Cure on a building site or working as stewards, that sort of thing. and the hobby of quilting. What links those things? That I won't lie, it's a bad question. Is that? If anyone gets it, I'm meant to be very rewarded. Question 23, ladies and gentlemen, is on politics and quotations, ladies and gentlemen. Which US president is known for the words, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country," words he said at his inauguration in the year not telling you that would tell you what the answer is. Which US president is known for the words, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country"? Who said inauguration? Question 24, ladies and gentlemen. Please just arrange these three things in order from least wrong to most wrong, okay? One from least wrong to most wrong. You've gone for racism, reggae, and then a ham sandwich. Thank you, the increasingly reliable Morrissey with your moral compass. Now, Morrissey, of course, was parodied in the also increasingly reliable, in a bad way, The Simpsons, ladies and gentlemen, at the weekend, as the foppish singer Quillaby, with whom Lisa developed a fascination stroke friendship. Which actor provided the voice of Quillaby, ladies and gentlemen? A parody of Morrissey, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, Morrissey has not enjoyed the fact that he's been parodied, despite the fact he's been doing it to himself for 30 years. Satire. Who provided the voice of the singer Quillaby? I'm delighted to say that we have a swale of correct answers for the bad links question. I'm very sorry, I just couldn't think of anything. You know what it's like, don't you? Question 25, ladies and gentlemen. What sort of medication is described by the initials NSAID? NSAID, ladies and gentlemen, describes what sort of medication? Yeah? Question 26, ladies and gentlemen, as you probably know, the most popular name for popes is John, ladies and gentlemen. I love a Pope John. to the Catholics are Pope John 23, ladies and gentlemen. Second is Benedict, ladies and gentlemen. Which name is third on the list? The third most common papal name, despite the fact that no pope has had this name since 1846. What is that, ladies and gentlemen? What is that third most popular papal name? Ooh! Somebody's shown off a bit. I mean, I am impressed. It's the sort of thing that impresses me, but you probably need you shut up then, Tom. What are you talking about, Tom? Hate you, Tom. Prick. Question 27, ladies and gentlemen, is on sport. In which sport, ladies and gentlemen, in which sport are leading teams, certainly historically, not so much now, but certainly historically, in which team are Essendon, Carlton, Collingwood, and Hawthorn? Leading historical teams, all bits of the same city as well, I think. Are they? Yeah, certainly three of them are. Essendon, Carlton, Collingwood, and Hawthorn are leading historical teams in which sport? I just need to help someone because I'm also going to embarrass them, okay? You're thinking of AJ Tracy, I think. AJ Peter is a historian. That's not him. And sorry, I just had to do that. It was just amusing me. Question 28. It's not that, but it's not AJ Tracy anyway. Question 28, ladies and gentlemen, is on social media and founded in the year 2016 by the CEO Andrew Torber. What is the name of the social network which, on account of its promising free speech and individual liberty, has become a haven for extremists, including neo-Nazis, white supremacists, white nationalists, the alt-right, QAnon conspiracy theorists, and former husbands of Billie Piper? What is the name of that social network, ladies and gentlemen? Founded in 2016 by CEO Andrew Torber, which I tell you just in case there's another possible answer. What is the name of the social network which promises unedited, unhindered free speech and individual liberty to those who would seek to subtract that from the lives of others, and has therefore become a haven for extremists, including neo-Nazis, actual Nazis, white supremacists, white nationalists, the alt-right in general, QAnon conspiracy theorists, and former sidekicks? What is the name of that social network? It's not AJ Tracy. Anyway, don't put that down. Question 29 is on logos. Which food company has a logo which in some way, there's your clue, in some way symbolizes the first 3 stores that it opened in Michigan, USA in the late 1960s? Which food chain, ladies and gentlemen, has a logo symbolizing in some way the 3 stores it opened in Michigan, USA in the late 1960s? What is that company? And question 30 is on the radio, ladies and gentlemen. After a career at this station spanning 17 years, ladies and gentlemen, that's 3,102.5 European Super Leagues worth of time, ladies and gentlemen. His DJ has announced this week that she used to leave Radio 1 after her 17-year career there, ladies and gentlemen. Who is that? 31 to 40, ladies and gentlemen, and he, according to YouGov, the top 10 most highly thought of department DIY and home stores, ladies and gentlemen. Department DIY and home stores. So not so much your white goods, okay? Not that at all. Department stores, DIY stores, and home stores are in the same category. Okay? I'm going to give you 5 minutes time. You know how to do it, don't you? You know how to do it. You're bright lads. Sorry. Just thought of a great joke. I mean, I said not white goods, didn't I? But one of you's just put a company that just appeared to sell fridges. The top, yes, it's the top 10 department DIY and home stores, Stephanie. So not white goods. Department DIY and home stores. They may sell white goods, but they're probably, not just your dedicated white goods stores. They don't feature. Okay, good. Thank you for those who have made donations. Those who would like to are more than welcome to. The link is in various chats, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Question 41, ladies and gentlemen, is on films, words, and general goop. What name, ladies and gentlemen, was coined by the physiologist Charles Richet in 1905 for the paranormal substance that supposedly emanates from a medium during a seance, ladies and gentlemen? It's best known for its use in a film of the 1980s. What name is that, ladies and gentlemen, was given by the physiologist Charles Richet in 1905 for the paranormal substance that supposedly emanates from a medium during a seance? It became much more widely known. It's used from a film in the 1980s. What is the name of that substance? Does whoever is filling in their top 10 just want 30 seconds to finish it off? I think it's your lot, isn't it, Frankie? Nick? Do you just want to finish that off first? See? The caring, the giving quizmaster, I refer to myself. Huh? Okay, good. Question 42, ladies and gentlemen, is on cars and history. Which American car manufacturer, owned by General Motors, was named after an 18th century Native American who led a rebellion against the British? American car manufacturer, now owned by General Motors, was named after an 18th century North American who led a rebellion against the British. One of the greatest answers I've ever seen. Question 43, ladies and gentlemen. Which is on TV? Which actor, ladies and gentlemen, which actor first came to prominence between 1994 and 2000 in Neighbours, then appeared in House between 2004 and 2010, and then appeared in Chicago Fire, which I've never seen, but sounds really dramatic, between 2012 and the present day? Chicago Fire. Between 2012 and 2000, and now, that's now, 2000 and now. He was in Neighbours between 1994 and 2000, and House between 2004 and 2010. I'll tell you right now that anyone who puts Billy Kennedy is getting no points. Apologies if you knew that and I've made it easier. I should allow that. That's how it's quoted. Question 44 is on video games. Which Japanese series of video games, which was known as Blank Warrior in the US, so it was Black something else in Japan, but known as Blank Warrior in the US until 2005, is a turn-based role-playing game, ladies and gentlemen, published by Square Enix. The first in the series was released in 1986 on the NES or Famicom, and the most recent was number 11 in 2017. There were various spin-off games from this series: Kenshin, Swords, Monster Battle Road, very low house prices on Monster Battle Road, and Builders are all spin-off games from the main series, most of which feature the signature villain, the Slime. Sounds malevolent, doesn't it? The Slime. What is that Japanese series of video games known as Blank Warrior in the US, comprising of role-playing game, turn-based role-playing adventure, published by Square Enix or Enix. First in the series was released in 1986 on the NES or Famicom, and the most recent in the main series was Blank 11 in 2017. It features spin-off games, the series called Kenshin, Swords, Monster Battle Road, and Builders, amongst others, most of which feature the signature villain, the Slime, which is also a spin-off series from this game, the Slime. What is the name, the two-word name of this game series? Someone's answer to 10 is correct, but question 45 is on sport and football, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Mason today became the youngest ever Premier League manager at the age of 29, just 29, and will therefore select some players older than him. Which former Crystal Palace manager is the second youngest Premier League manager of all time? Amongst the players he selected were Andy Linegan. Andy Linegan, 4 years his senior. Who was that man? Former Crystal Palace manager, the second. I will do 42. Yeah, the second youngest ever Premier League manager, who selected, amongst others, a veteran Andy Linegan, my nemesis, who was 4 years his senior at the time. 42, Jim, was which American car manufacturer owned by General Motors was named after an 18th century Native American who led a rebellion against the British? No problem. And no problem, Stephanie. Question 46 is on musicals. The composer Richard Rodgers, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Rodgers is best known for his work with Oscar Hammerstein, Rodgers and Hammerstein. But with which other lyricist did he work on 28 musicals prior to this, and certainly prior to the lyricist's death in 1943? Just a surname is fine. Richard Rodgers, best known for his work with Oscar Hammerstein, but also worked a considerable amount, 28 musicals, more than 500 songs, with which lyricist, who died in 1943? Question 47 is on European history, 20th century European history, overthrown in 1974 by the non-violent Carnation Revolution. The Estado Novo was a 20th century horrible nationalist and colonialist movement. In which country the Estado Novo was overthrown in 1974 by a non-violent revolution known as the Carnation Revolution? The Estado Novo, the new estate, whatever you want to call it, the new republic is probably a good name for it, was the 20th century nationalist and colonialist movement. In which country the Estado Novo? Very authoritarian. Awful. Extremely Catholic. Question 48, ladies and gentlemen, is on language. Derived from, to the point of actually being, the Greek word for shield, specifically a shield upon which Zeus was born, when not disguising himself as a swan or a bull or Kettering, something like that. Which five-letter word in English now means sponsorship, protection, and control, or indeed some combination of the three? A five-letter word, ladies and gentlemen, beginning with a diphthong. It is derived from the Greek word for shield, ladies and gentlemen. And in English, actually is the Greek word for shield, and in English means a sort of sponsorship, protection, control, or indeed a degree of all three. I use it a lot, but I'm that sort of prick. Question 49 is on French politics, ladies and gentlemen. It came to me as a great surprise when Nicolas Sarkozy was found guilty of peddling his influence and was sentenced to a suspended prison sentence. Normally, French politicians would never engage in skullduggery of this manner and are men of great honour. However, surprisingly, amazingly, in the annals of history, another leading French politician was in 2011 given a suspended sentence for diversion of political funds, ladies and gentlemen, surprisingly, into his own account, presumably where they were merely resting, of course, during his time as mayor of Paris. Who was that politician, ladies and gentlemen? Also, given a suspended sentence for some sort of financial irregularity in 2011 for diverting political funds whilst mayor of Paris into his own towards himself for his own personal benefit. Temporary, I'm sure. Who was that politician? Question 50 is on footwear, ladies and gentlemen. Which shoe company founded in 1774 gained worldwide popularity with three things. One, by making shoes initially in the first place. Secondly, by the orthopedic properties of its trademark soles, which with soldiers who found them very comfortable, and then latterly in America by association with hippie culture, as the original importer, Mardot, and somebody, can't remember the name, sold them in health stores, where they were bought by the people who would visit health stores, ladies and gentlemen. Which shoe company is that? Founded in 1774 and had two major boosts to its popularity in the 20th century. Firstly, First World War soldiers who found the orthopedic properties of its trademark soles provided them with great comfort. And secondly, or latterly, by association with the hippie culture of the late 1960s after they were imported to be sold in health stores. Which company is that? Good answer. Oh, beautiful play here. Question 51, ladies and gentlemen, is on films and literature. A film of 1998, ladies and gentlemen, was directed by and starred Robert Redford, ladies and gentlemen. It was based on a 1995 novel by Nicholas Evans. They both share a name. It's a very well-known film and bullshit's concept. What is that name? One is the name of the book and film. 1995 book by Nicholas Evans. 1998 a Robert Redford film starring Robert Redford. What is the name of that book stroke film? Good. One team has just started absolutely flying. I'm just going to tell you that now. Absolutely flying. And it pleases me. We should tell you who it is. Question 52, ladies and gentlemen, is on flags. 3 South American countries, ladies and gentlemen, have flags predominantly of yellow, blue, and red stripes, ladies and gentlemen, which is in reference to the flag of the former territory of Gran Colombia. It will not surprise you, ladies and gentlemen, to find that one of them is Colombia. What are the other 2 countries, ladies and gentlemen? Flags are predominantly yellow, blue, and red stripes, in reference to the flag of the former territory of Gran Colombia. One of them is Colombia. What are the other 2? I need both of them, I'm afraid. I just lost confidence in myself, but I am right. And make sure you haven't just overwritten your answer to 51, by the way. Good. I've hidden the questions. That won't help anyone. Question 53. This is a bit gammony. Certainly football gammony. There are many hammer blows, ladies and gentlemen. Many hammer blows struck in the long, proud history of the European Super League. But for me, the hammeriest of them all was by which third-generation talent, basically his grandfather played and his father played football. 2 things are notable. Firstly, he had an illicit liaison in probably the most 90s thing possible. This footballer had a liaison with Mel Sykes. But also was found on an episode of Record Breakers to have the hardest shot in the world. He broke the world record for the hardest shot. Who is that player, ladies and gentlemen? A Betfred ambassador, apparently, who gave his 2 penneth on the European Super League. He had an illicit liaison with Melanie Sykes and was found on an episode of Record Breakers to have a world record-breaking shot. Who is that player? His dad played, as did his grandfather. Though that's less famous, his grandfather. That's probably the hardest clue. In a way, his appearance answered a question asked by the Ben Folds 5 in 1995. That is such an unhelpful clue. Good. If anyone got it, if you just got that from the clue, then I'm very impressed. Question 54 is on political titles, ladies and gentlemen. When Arthur Balfour just shouted the word Arthur there, didn't I? Arthur Balfour became Prime Minister in 1902, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? However, he'd also held which position since 1895? Since Balfour combined these two roles in 1902, every single Prime Minister has also held this position. What is that position? So Arthur Balfour became Prime Minister in 1902, combining it with which position, which he had held since 1895. Since Balfour took this position on, it has been held by every single Prime Minister. What is that title or position? And here comes the gammon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, on TV of the 90s, ladies and gentlemen, what was the name of the Saturday morning children's BBC programme in which supposedly an alien time baron called Mercator had committed the crime of showing too much interest in general goings on and, as punishment, was only allowed to be awake for 2 hours a week, 9 to 11 a.m. on a Saturday, to be precise. And in entertainment, he would beam up guests from planet Earth to engage in the usual Saturday morning shenanigans. Surprisingly, it was an absolute crock of shit. What was the name of that programme, ladies and gentlemen? Saturday morning children's BBC programme in which supposedly an alien time baron by the name of Mercator was only allowed to be awake for 2 hours a week, that's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Saturday, would beam up guests from planet Earth to be his amusement during this period. It was an absolute crock of shit. What was the name of that programme? And question 56, after which you can get on with your music. Which word has appeared in the Song of Song titles? Which word? Let me just do this again, because that's rubbish. I mean, I've done these exact words every week for about 12 years. Which word of 5 letters or more, that's one word, 5 letters or more, has appeared in the title of hit singles by each of the following artists? Texas, the Isley Brothers, Lily Allen, Nat King Cole, starting to sound like Brian Butterfield. The Collars, the Killers, Dutch's Midnight Runners. I'm amusing myself. Topsus, Mini Bumble Buns. I'm sorry, Texas, the Isley Brothers, Bread and Ham Deltoy. No, Lily Allen, Nat King Cole, The Killers, and Dex's Midnight Runners. One word, 5 letters or more. What is that title? Away you go. On you get with the music. I'll give you till 10. Good. And I'll tell you right now, one of the answers is not shitty flute, even though you might think it is, but it isn't. I will do this. Thank you very much. Clown nose fruit, non-talented dates. 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 4 minutes. Two minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay. It is now time for your pointless questions, your tiebreaker questions. As ever, I gave 100 of my friends 100 seconds to name as many of the following 4 things they could. All you need to do is find ones that they didn't say. Do remember, I did stop them as soon as they were wrong, and it was a competition, so they didn't go for obscure ones first, okay? So it works as much as it would. I need, okay, either any footballer, any men's football. I apologise. It's just if I do women's, that no one knows enough about it. I apologise. Any male footballer with 50 or more international goals in officially sanctioned matches. Any top 40 single by Robbie Williams. So featuring Robbie Williams as a solo artist. Could be a featured artist, but it is as a solo artist. So no, take that songs. As long as he's credited as a solo artist, yeah. Any country in the world that is currently a monarchy. or anyone who has ever been named People magazine's sexiest man alive. Yeah. So that's American People magazines. Sorry, I did in the wrong list, so I apologise. So any player with 50 or more international goals, any top 40 single by Robbie Williams or featuring Robbie Williams as a credited artist, any country in the world that is currently a monarchy, or anyone who has been named People magazine's sexiest man alive. Your tiebreak question is, how many litres of milkshake were there in the world's largest ever milkshake? I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do all that, finish off, okay? So 22:07, please. Litres, Amy, in litres. I'm very impressed with somebody right now. I won't tell you who it is. Mainly because I don't know who it is. But I'm very impressed with one person. Oh, 1 minute remains. Oh, very good. Very, very good. Okay. Answers are still coming in, so I'll give you another minute. But you've got that much left. Can you see that? That much. Yeah? My fingernails are disgusting. Jesus. Okay. I'm ending the quiz in 15 seconds. Okay. Good. Everyone has finished anyway. Quiz is over. Here are your answers. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your answers. In the pitch round, you had Dickie Davis, Craig Cash, Bad Bunny, the highest streaming artist on Spotify, ladies and gentlemen, you old bastards, and Alan Armstrong, so that's DDCCBBAA. And then I ran out, so Dash, that's Dash from The Incredibles. Sixth one is Rashida Jones, who's Quincy Jones' daughter, not Ravi Shankar, who's Noah Jones. 7 is Bill Werbenick. Yes. 8, ladies and gentlemen. Now, did anyone get 8 in the end? Let me check. No, you didn't. But some of you will very much have heard of him. The clue is, ladies and gentlemen, that the only highlighted club on that list, by the way, was Wycombe Wanderers. That, ladies and gentlemen, is Roy Essendoe, who was signed from Teletext and stood for Wycombe against Leicester, of course. Roy Essendoe. It's Christian O'Connell, Wayne Coyne, the wretched Florentine Perez. In 12, obviously, so you had Mr. Ed, then you had Mr. Ed Wood, the director, then Ed Woodward. So the next one is obviously Edward Woodward, as we all know. 13 is is brilliantly known as Famous Left Hand. That's his name, Famous Left Hand. Name of the Year competition comes out next week. Cannot wait. Peace Be With You, ladies and gentlemen, and A Comedy of Errors did allow alternative comedy against my better judgment, but there we go. On to 16, the TV show's called I Can See Your Voice. That's sure to be good. 17, Water Polo, Blood in the Water. Good there. 18, Ian Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, 19, that's Zuppa Inglese. Zuppa Inglese, ladies and gentlemen. 20, the film is Tom and Jerry. 21, the Weimar Republic. 22, Steve Coogan, of course, plays Alan Partridge. Anne Frank was, of course, in her attic. The Basil Hallward drew the picture of Dorian Gray. The term used in mock sympathy there is "You okay, hun?" Alison Moyer was formerly in a band called The Vandals before solo success, and Yazoo. American SUV was the Jeep Cherokee. Susan Janet Ballion is Susie Sue's real name. Wyoming has its state capital at Cheyenne. The Cure, whether on a building site or operating as stewards, are of course high Visigoths. And quilting is, of course, Apache hobby. I'm so sorry. They're all tribes, ladies and gentlemen. I did allow American tribes because it was so shit. I was generous. 23, JFK said those words. 24, Twillaby was voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch. 25, they're anti-inflammatories, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, as people were very good to tell me. 26, Pope Gregory is the name they're known. So that 27, Aussie Rules. 28, Gab is the social network, not Parley. Gab. 29. The 3 stores opened are the 2 and the 1 spots, ladies and gentlemen, on the logo of Domino's. 30. Annie Mac is that DJ. 31 to 40. Your stores were Marks and Spencer's, IKEA, B&Q, Wilco, John Wicks, John Lewis, John Wick, it is, John Lewis, Wicks, Screwfix, Dunelm, Debenhams, and Homebase. 41, the word is ectoplasm. I liked that question, ectoplasm. 42, because I'm obsessed with Native Americans, apparently, or Indigenous Americans, Pontiac, ladies and gentlemen. 43, Jesse Spencer, the actor there. 44, Dragon Quest, the series of games. 45, Attilio Lombardo was only 32, when he was manager. Looked 1,007. 46, Hart, Lawrence Hart, Rodgers and Hart, ladies and gentlemen. 47, the Estadio Novo was in Portugal. 48, Aegis in English is the word. 49, Jacques Chirac. So for those things. 50, Birkenstocks are the shoes, Birkenstocks. 51, the novel and films, The Horse Whisperer. 52, Ecuador and Venezuela. Bolivia is green, not blue. Those who put that. 53, Nicky Summerbee. Where's Summerbee? By the Ben Folds 5 was your impossible clue there. Nicky Summerbee did those. 54, First Lord of the Treasury. The answer there. 55, good answers, but they're just not that year, not that person. 55, Parallel 9 was a TV series, and 56, the word is smile, inner smile, behind a painted smile. Smile like you mean it. And Jackie Wilson said, open brackets, I'm in heaven when you smile, close brackets. That's what the song was called. Onto the music round. The first one was the Crystals with He's a Rebel, which is great. Then it was The Only Ones with Another Girl, Another Planet, which is also great. Then it was The Cure with Why Can't I Be You. Then it was Reef with Come Back Brighter. Then it was Rachel Stevens with Some Girls, which is really good. Then it was The Arctic Monkeys with Cornerstone. Joni Mitchell with Both Sides Now. Elton John with Philadelphia Freedom. Phil Lynott with Yellow Pearl. And then it was Ed the Duck with, it's just called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but you all knew what it was called. A lot of duck punning. And then it was The Coral with Pass It On. And then Justin Bieber with Peaches. Your Sexy Men, ladies and gentlemen. Pointless. You could have had Mark Harmon from St. Elsewhere with it. Harry Hamlin. L.A. Law? Was it L.A. Law? I don't know. JFK Jr., Nick Nolte, Matt Damon, Adam Levine, or Blake Shelton, the country singer. Your countries, there's some very good answers, but you could have had Solomon Islands, Tuvalu. Someone just went through all the Caribbean ones. I'm afraid that was what they did. So none of the Caribbean ones are there. Qatar, Papua New Guinea, Oman, Lesotho, Bhutan, and Tonga. Well done, people got Tonga. The Robbie Williams single could have had Let Love Be Your Energy, Sexed Up, Misunderstood, Sin, 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 Bodies, You Know Me, Go Gentle, Love My Life, and The Road to Mandalay, a double A side, of course. Well done. Was it with Feel Millennium? I can't remember. Do let me know, but well done to who got that. They were the person I was impressed with. Your goal scorers, ladies and gentlemen. I'll go through the ones you've never heard of first, who are Paul Nielsen of Denmark, Ali Ashfaq of the Maldives, Fandi Ahmed of Singapore, Carlos Pavon of Honduras, he's a bit well known, Carlos Ruiz of Guatemala, he isn't, Ali Mabajor of the UAE, Kiatrusk Semanur of Thailand, Kinapiri of Malawi, Majed Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, Anil Chetri of India, Bashar Abdullah, Eternity, that's right, thank you, Sophie, thank you. Bashar Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, Kunishida Kamamoto of Japan, or Kapan, as I've written there, and Hussein Saeed of Iraq. The ones you have heard of, and Godfrey Shitterloo as well of Zambia. The ones you have heard of are, some of them generously, the Philippines legend Phil Younghusband, Tim Cahill, ladies and gentlemen, Tim Cahill, Asamoah Gyan, None of them penalties, I presume. Who else have we got here who's well known? John Dole Thomason, someone got that, well done. And ladies and gentlemen, with 70 international goals, Stern John, ladies and gentlemen, Stern John has 50 international goals more than Dwight York. And your tiebreaker, the milkshake, was 22,712 litres, which is 6,000 US gallons. The leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. In fourth place, with a very slightly subpar 41, was Amy and Dave. Well done. In third place, with a competitive 53, no effing pub. In second, with 56, 57, for knowing something I didn't know just then, universally challenged. And in first place with 61, a hefty 61, ladies and gentlemen, was the Chords. Round of applause. Well done, all of you. Thank you very much for taking part. There'll be another quiz at the same time next week. Yes, there will. The week after, I'm very much struggling for because I have a quizzing event myself. So the week after, I might try and do it on a different day, if that's okay with all of you. But next week, Wednesday, as planned. Thank you all for taking part. It's been an otherworldly pleasure to see your increasingly free online presences. Until which juncture next week. Good night. Well done. Thank you all.